Senator Markey.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Korsnick, before we discuss next-generation reactors, I have a question about how we can ensure that the current nuclear fleet is secure against terrorism. In the 2005 Energy Policy Act, it includes a provision which I authored that mandates that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission conduct security inspections at U.S. nuclear power plants. The reason I built that in, obviously, is the terrorist attack, 9/11, where 2 planes were hijacked from Logan Airport that flew into the World Trade Center. So my goal was to make nuclear power plants more secure. The inspections must include force-on-force exercises where a mock adversary terrorist force conducts a simulated attack on a power plant to probe potential gaps in the plant's security. These exercises allow the NRC to ensure that nuclear power plants are adequately protected against terrorists or other bad actors. The alternative, having plant operators run their own exercises, would not only violate the law, but it would create a clear conflict of interest and undermine public safety. In the past, the Nuclear Energy Institute lobbied the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to get rid of its force-on-force exercises in favor of exercises conducted by the owners of the power plant. In effect, this would have nuclear power plant operators inspecting themselves. In December, I wrote to the NRC to explain that implementing such a proposal would not only be dangerous, but also illegal. In response to my letter, the Nuclear Energy Institute stated publicly that it did not support getting rid of the NRC's force-on-force exercises. But at a recent public meeting, the Nuclear Energy Institute appears to have shifted its position yet again and now says that it might support getting rid of NRC-run security evaluations in favor instead of letting the owners of the plant do their own inspections. Could you clear this up? Which side of that issue is the Nuclear Energy Institute on?
I can share that we are currently conducting these force-on-force exercises. I'm familiar with those. I know that there has been some work with the industry working with the NRC to see if we could do these in a more efficient way rather than the way that they had been conducted.
Do you support that the government ensure that it's done independent of the owner of the plant, or do you support letting the plant operator do it? Which position do you take? There's 2 different positions here just in the last couple of months.
Yeah. What I'm familiar with is that it's done independently. I will let you know that they
independently of
that there's an independent force that conducts these, that the NRC observes this independent force on this force-on-force exercises. That's how it's done today. I do know that there are folks that are looking at our security right now.
So you support the continuation of NRC-run force-on-force exercises, is that correct?
That's correct. That's what we do today. I do know
And
that
you
there are people
support that
looking at
position being continued?
I do support that, but there are folks that are looking at it. If in the future they come up with a recommendation, we'll evaluate it. But that is how it's currently being done today.
Yeah, well, the reason that we have the goal of having the plant operated not inspect itself is the same reason that you don't have take-home exams in school, that not only do you take it at home, but then you give yourself your own grade. There'd be a disproportionate number of A-pluses that students would give to themselves for the work which they were doing. So you need an independent way of looking at these safety issues, especially post-9/11, post-Synaev brothers in Boston as well, on Marathon Monday. So I urge you very strongly, Ms. Korsnick, to have the Nuclear Energy Institute adopt the position, which you did at the end of last year, that there should be independent inspections to make sure that these plants can withstand a terrorist attack. And it's not just done by the plant owners themselves, who will want to have necessarily a stake in lowering the cost that they would have for trying to protect these plants. So, I can't urge you strongly enough that we learned this lesson in Boston on 9/11 and then with the Synaev brothers. They're coming. They have plans. Nuclear is at the top of their list. nuclear weapons coming in from overseas, nuclear power plants in the United States. If they don't have the kind of security that protects against a successful terrorist attack, then we are going to see them try to penetrate the loose standards that some of these power plant owners will put in place. So I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back the balance.